Korriban, ancient birthplace of the Sith. We believed ruins were all that remained of their evil empire.
I swear, I had no idea what was in those crates. I'm innocent.
You were smuggling Sith artifacts, Captain.
Fine, keep the artifacts. Just give me back my ship.
Eyes front.
Just inspecting the troops, Corporal.
Satil, what's wrong?
I sense a gray darkness.
Sith Empire has returned. We must warn the Republic.
Our shuttles can't outrun those fighters.
Well, guess who's got the fastest ship in the sector?
Station defenses breach. All hands evacuate.
Look out!
Will she fly?
She's not pretty, but she's tough.
Captain, prep your ship. This is our fight.
T7, prep the ion cannons.
Go, Satil. You must walk a different path.
On those guns, now!
escaped, Master. You failed.
No, Malgus. This is only the beginning.
Yes. After 1,000 years, Korriban is ours again. Welcome home.
Okay, so if you didn't find that awesome, I'm guessing someone stole your soul long ago, or something horrific like that. So, this is a showcase on Star Wars The Old Republic. Star Wars The Old Republic is, it's a very traditional MMO in terms of its gameplay. It's a lot like World of Warcraft in that respect. Also, I've never actually played World of Warcraft, but I've seen a fair amount of gameplay of that game. So, it's made by BioWare, and I do love some of the games BioWare has made, particularly the Mass Effect series is my favourite series of all time. If you haven't checked that series out, I'd fully recommend doing so. It has a lot of the, sort of BioWare's sort of trademark things, like it has the dialogue wheel, which is your whole decision making. It's fully voice acted, which is one thing I absolutely love about the Mass Effect game. It really increases your immersion into the game. It has your whole sort of good side, bad side sort of choices, and in this case it's light side and dark side. If you make good choices, like sort of a good guy choice, your light side score will go up, opening you different options with equipment and your companions, and vice versa for the dark side. If you make those decisions for them, or like bad decisions, evil decisions, whatever you wish to call it, you will have equipment and other companion options like that. So, I've always liked BioWare's sort of blend of gameplay and then your decision making. That's always been one of my favourite things about them. But the gameplay of this game, well, it's perhaps not for everyone. It can get a bit repetitive and a bit grindy, but then again, what MMO doesn't? But yeah, it has some really cool things in it, and I've really been enjoying this game lately. Been playing quite a bit of it, perhaps too much, you could argue. But yeah, so to start off, we're just going to go into the character creation screen, and I'm going to show you the different classes and some of the options you have for actually creating your own character. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and create a... Well, we're not going to create a character for now, we're just going to go over the classes. So you got... For each faction you have 2 melee classes and 2 range classes. And for pretty much there are 2 classes that are the same. So the Jedi Knight, for example, the Jedi Knight has the Sith Warrior as its equivalent class, which are pretty much the same in terms of gameplay. I mean, slightly different, a few different abilities and all that, but essentially they're pretty similar in terms of gameplay, at least from what I have seen so far. And likewise, you have the Trooper and the Bounty Hunter, the Smuggler and the Imperial Agent, I believe it is, and the Consular and the Inquisitor. So they all have the different sort of gameplay styles and a different plot line. That's a very important thing, actually. Every single class has its own unique plot line, although you're still on the same planets or on the same side quests you can do. They all have their unique sort of class storyline. So if you're playing a Jedi Knight, you can't do the missions of a Trooper, for example. You know, they're unique to that particular class. So, yeah. This game has some pretty good plot lines. I haven't played them all. I've got a decent way in the Jedi Knight and the Jedi Consular story. A little way in the Bounty Hunter as well. But they are pretty good. I mean, BioWare have always one of their selling points has always been really good plot lines, and they don't disappoint with this game. So, let's just go back and take a look at the Sith classes. So the Sith Warrior is pretty much the same as the Knight that you saw on the other one. The Inquisitor is pretty much the same as the Consular. The Bounty Hunter was the what was it? Trooper. And the Imperial Agent was the Smuggler. I mean, there are differences, obviously. They're not exactly the same, but they have a sort of similar base sort of style. So, oh, I don't know, if we just go ahead and create a trooper, you can get all these different species, although most of them are locked. You can unlock these species without using premium currency, but you need to progress and be quite rich in terms of normal credits in this game. So you got human, Zabrak, and cyborg unlocked for this race by default. You can unlock all these ones too in time, or with a bit of money at the game. So I'm just going to go with a human. I'm just going to do a male actually. So you can create sort of different body types, but as you can see, if you've played other BioWare games, you'll see that the character creation is nowhere near as in depth as, say, Mass Effect or Dragon Age or any of those games. It's sort of all just these presets, and there's not really that many different ones that you can do. So you can I mean, you can make them look unique. I mean, it's not like your characters will look the same as every single other person's character, but it's not quite as in-depth as most BioWare games are. So you can create all sorts of different looking characters. I'm not gonna spend hours making anyone here, but it's got these sort of different things. You can go with a really manly beard if you wanted to, because it will make your character really overpowered having that massive beard on it. So you can still decent amount of customization options. I'm just saying there's not as much as other BioWare games. That's a hairy guy, isn't it? So yeah, take a look at the female options. And female trooper is actually voiced by Jennifer Hale from Mass Effect series, who plays Commander Shepard if you're a female character, so that's pretty much the reason I originally chose a female trooper, because the voice actor for her is amazing. But yeah, you can see there's a decent amount of customization that you can do. I'm not making anything good here, I'm just randomly doing things. Oh my god, that is ugly. But yeah. Of course there's your Sith class as a tool, but the customization is exactly the same for all those. Each species has a slightly different customization, I think. So I think the Zabrak wouldn't have quite the same faces and all that. But yeah. So that's the classes and character customization. Obviously this is only like your facial customization. You can create far more unique looking characters by the use of armor, because this game has a lot, well, armor and weapons more like. This game has a lot of equipment and things that you can put on your character. And this game feels very polished in how it comes across, because it's got a lot of just handy little things that don't really need to be there, but make your life easier and make, you know, the game just a little bit more, just a bit sort of more friendly to you, rather than having to, you know, be annoying like some games. But yeah, so now we're gonna just you know, watch some gameplay, and I'll go over some other things. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go over things in no particular order, and just sort of you know, give you my rundown of this game. So this game is, like I said, it's probably not the game for everyone due to its very traditional sort of MMO gameplay. I know that's not, doesn't appeal to everyone, but it does to me. But, I have enjoyed this game a lot since I've started playing it, and, it's one of those games that sort of, you're never lost, you always know what you're doing. It has sort of, it has a really nice sort of, it really helps you out. It's quite user-friendly is what I'm trying to say, rather than just pointlessly ramble, but it's got a really nice sort of map that is, I mean, it's little things that when you click the map up and you're moving, the map fades so you can see your character behind it and where you are on the map, but you can still, actually move around. It has a lot of polished features like that. When you, you might see it in this, clip, I'm not sure, but, you can click on, if you control, then click on a piece of equipment, someone put on the chat, you can preview it, see how it looks on your character, which is useful for trading. If you're trading some really cool looking equipment, no one's gonna, like, think, I don't know, it's gonna say, like, I don't know, power dudes, large jacket, I don't know, that's not actually in the game, that was just an example, but no one's gonna just look at that name and go, oh, that must be cool, and buy it, you know, they're gonna want to see it. So it's little things like that that make this game quite cool. So, this game's soundtrack, now, the soundtrack is the actual soundtrack from the movies, which is good, but I find that, well, when it's going, it's cool. When the soundtrack is in the background and you're fighting bad guys, it's cool, but it's rarely actually there. The soundtrack is just absent most of the time, which is really disappointing, because, you know, I do put a lot of, importance on the soundtrack in the game. It really adds to the immersion and the feel and the atmosphere of whatever you're doing. If you don't have a soundtrack, it just feel a bit empty. I often find myself just opening up iTunes in the background and I'm playing a playlist from there. But that is a bit of a letdown about this game. It's the soundtrack. When it is running, it's generally pretty cool. But it's not normally running. It's only really in story missions for your class missions that it'll actually play. It's not, it doesn't really cue in. I think it's, the soundtrack seems very cued to a particular event, so if you go into a zone, nothing will happen, you know, like a lot of games, the soundtrack won't, you know, start. It's very sort of cued to something happening, so something happens in the class story quest, and the soundtrack will start. It doesn't just dynamically start on its own. But, yeah, this doesn't, like, kill the game or anything, it's just a little thing that I find bugs me a little bit. But, yeah. So, this game, it's also, I haven't really played it long enough to know how much of a case this is, but it is somewhat freemium, you know? You kind of have to, you do sort of have to pay a little bit of money to get far in it, because, playing it free to play, you have a very limited amount of features. If you purchase like a $5 little package, it will it'll upgrade your preferred access player, which is which for me at least, you know, for me it's been fine. I've been able to do everything I've wanted to do as a preferred access player. Obviously, being a subscriber, which is pretty much your like subscription based payment, which is like EVE or World of Warcraft, it's pretty much the same as that. You don't need it, but it certainly helps you along the way. So, yeah, but that $5 fee preferred access, in my opinion, is, in my opinion, until you buy that, the game is sort of just a trial. You'll be fine for the first 10 levels or so, but after that, you're really going to want to pay that $5, but in my opinion, $5 is a very reasonable price for what you get with this game, and you can still trial it out perfectly fine on the free-to-play, and I do know some people play right up until level 55, you know, on free-to-play, or is it level 50, I can't quite remember, but, yeah, so, I'm not sure if the subscription's really compulsory near the end game when you're like level 50 or 55, you know. I'm not quite sure what the story is there, but it's just something to keep in mind. So, going back to the classes, there was one thing I forgot to mention. Each class has its advanced classes, so they're like different classes which have sort of a different gameplay off the the broad classes. So first you've got, the broadest is your melee classes, Then going down would be Jedi Knight, which is less broad than just, your melee classes. And then you have, like Jedi Sentinel and Jedi Guardian. Jedi Guardian is sort of your tank class of the Jedi Knight, and Jedi Sentinel is your sort of DPS class. My Jedi Knight is a Sentinel, and I quite like the DPS gameplay rather than the whole tanking. I always prefer to deal the damage rather than take it in any game. Like also you have your fair amount of healers, like you got the Jedi Consular, which then you have the Jedi Shadow, which is sort of DPS and tank at the same time. Obviously not quite as sort of a balance of the two, not hardcore damage, not hardcore tanking, but a good balance of the two. And then you have Jedi Sage, which is your your healer sort of class, which is your melee healer. And the ranged classes obviously have their own things. I haven't played as much as of the ranged classes though, so I don't really know that much about them. But yeah, this is a really good game in terms of how well it's balanced with all the classes. I think when I'm playing one class, I don't feel that one class is better than another. I don't feel like my Jedi Knight would be able to like own my Jedi Consular. Well, it probably would now because it's a higher level, but when they're on the same level, I didn't feel like it was any more or less powerful than Jedi Consular, just different, And yeah, your companions also complement your class. So if you have a DPS class, you may want to have a healer accompanying you, or a or something a bit more tanky. So they'll take the hits, you'll deal the damage, or you might have another DPS with you, so you do double damage. That's who I've got with me, and most of these clips is Kira Carson. She's your sort of damage dealer companion. But yeah, also speaking of companions, there are throughout the game's plot you get extra team members who you can bring into battle with. You can have one at a time, unlike most of BioWare's games actually, which is more than one at a time. Like Mass Effect, you can have two companions. Dragon Age, I think you have. Is it three? I haven't played much of Dragon Age. I can never really get into that game. I'm not sure why. Just something about it. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just never really caught my interest. It's a bit weird. I want to like it, but I don't. But anyway, this is about Star Wars: The Old Republic, but and not Dragon Age. But yeah, also, it's a BioWare game, so it has some awesome, animations like you saw at the start of the video. Like, if you watch, like, Mass Effect 2 and 3, my god, do they have amazing CGI sequences. It's one of the, amazing things about BioWare's games. Not so sure about Dragon Age, haven't played enough of it, but, I'm sure they do. So, yeah. That pretty much brings this video to an end. I can't think of anything else to ramble on about for now. So, seeing as it is May the 4th, I shall, which is, and for those of you who don't know, is International Star Wars Day, because May the 4th, may the Force be with you, so yeah. But, yeah, I will leave you for now, and I will just say, may the 4th be with you.